Hey everybody, it is Johanna here with Orbital Astrology. And if you can hear me, please comment because I think I have about 6% left on my earbuds. So if the sound is weird, please let me know. Or if sound drops off, then I'll have to re-record this later. But I wanted to hop on here. It is Saturday, September 25th, and that means we are almost at the end of September. This week's astrology forecast is going to go into the first week of October, which is crazy, right? We're already pretty much into October at this point. So this upcoming week is going to be kind of an interesting culmination of what's happened already in September and moving forward into October because we do have a big event happening and it is happening tomorrow, right? Dun dun dun. Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow in Libra. So it's going to happen around 11 o'clock at night tomorrow Mountain Time. So, if you're going to time it down to the second to get all that last minute stuff done that you need to do before it goes retrograde. Hey Maya, how are you? So if you're here, say hi. And yeah, so tomorrow we are going to be kicking off, the end of September, beginning of October with the Mercury going retrograde. So tomorrow it stations at 25 degrees Libra. So wherever you have 25 degrees Libra in your chart, if that's like a trigger point for you, or if you have a planet there, or you have your one of your angles there, your ascendant, your midheaven, your descendant, your IC, one of those, that's where that energy is going to be activated for you. So the stationing point for any retrograde is kind of a slowing down and intensifying of that energy. So we're going to get that feeling tomorrow when Mercury goes retrograde. Now, since Mercury isn't an outer planet, it's not this long extended period of slowing down and stationing the way Pluto is, or Neptune, or one of the outer planets, because they take their movement is so long. And when their retrograde happens, it's like a long extended experience and process. But Mercury goes retrograde many times a year, as we know. Everyone's like, oh God, is it happening again? And this time it's happening in Libra. So we're going to be looking at a lot of air energy. Still, we've got Mercury, we've got Mars in Libra, and then we also have Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. So there's going to be this conversation happening between those sort of couplings of planets. Now, Mars today is actually making an aspect to Saturn. It's a supportive aspect. So it's a trine aspect between Mars and Saturn. So when we think about relationships and aspects between planets, that means they're making angular alignments with each other. So they're in a positive alignment with each other right now. However, Mars and Saturn are not necessarily the most positive of planets if you consider them to be the malefic planets of astrology. So it's these two difficult energies that are working together in a harmonious way, if that makes sense. So there may be a little bit of sort of pacifying that negativity. So a compromise, a way that they both can work together. And especially since Mars is in Libra, that is a very diplomatic, okay, sort of compromise, resigning to the fact that we have to put our heads together to make things work. Even though I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me, we live in the same world together, so we need to make things work. Mars, of course, wants to get everything done as fast as possible. When it's in Libra, he doesn't get to do that. He has to wait and see what the other person wants before he can make a decision, which he doesn't like to do. In this case, it's the other person is Saturn, and Saturn is really the wise old take your time, think about things before you make decisions, think about all the boundaries, think about all your limitations, think about all the things that could possibly go wrong. And Mars, once again, does not like to be limited in any way. He does not like to think about all the possibilities. So he's really in this position where he has to calm himself down, think about things before making a decision, think about the other person's feelings before making a decision. So he's kind of backed into a corner, but at least it's a supportive. It's allowing him to move more comfortably in that position. So giving somebody space that usually is very rash and it needs to make a decision very quickly. So backing up and letting them sort of have a little bit of a bubble to make their decisions, letting them figure it out themselves. That's the kind of energy that's happening today. So if you're feeling like you're in a situation with somebody else who is like you're like, okay, I'm just gonna let you do your thing. I need to just sort of back away. But you also need to understand that this is the reality of the situation. So I'm going to leave you the information. You're going to make the decision at your own pace, at your own time, but you need to also respect my feelings and move forward. So that's the type of energy that's happening right now. Hopefully it is a supportive and a productive energy for you today, before we go into retrograde tomorrow. So we're at this very end of um, the month, and Mercury is at the very end of Libra. So he's at 25 degrees Libra, and that's where he's going to station and go backwards. So eventually Mars and Mercury are going to meet up, because Mars is moving forward, Mercury's moving backwards. So at some point in October, they're going to meet up, and have a conversation. So whatever's going on with you today, it's kind of a preamble to what Mercury is going to be dealing with in its retrograde period, because Mars is going to come and talk to him about what's going on, how he feels. Mercury is going to have to review the situation, reconsider all the things. So, just pay attention to what's going on today. Tomorrow, if you're going to be just cramming at the last minute to get things done before Mercury goes retrograde, you have until 11 o'clock p.m. before it stations on Sunday the 26th. Tomorrow, interesting as well, we also have a sun trine the North Node. So the sun we're in Libra season. We're at 3 degrees Libra right now. So the sun is making a little bit of a trine aspect to the North Node in Gemini. Now, Gemini is the the North Node is the very end of Gemini. So it's almost ready to move back into Taurus, I think in the next month. And then we will have all new lunar nodes to look at for the eclipses that are going to be coming up. So it's kind of this last hurrah for the nodes in Sagittarius and Gemini, and to think back at the eclipses that happened this year. So, what were you going through? What big event happened to you this year that sort of was like a pivotal moment in the year? Because that's what eclipses are. They open up doors. People come into our lives. People leave our lives. Events happen. People change jobs. People go back to school. People, leave relationships. People start relationships. It's like that type of beginning, ending. Trigger points. So that's going to be also an interesting idea to look at right before the retrograde starts tomorrow morning. Well, it's like really early in the morning, at 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you wake up tomorrow night, or tonight, I guess, yeah, really early in the morning, and have a dream, have an epiphany, have something that is like, oh, that's what happened to me this year. That's what was going on during these eclipses. That's what it meant. And since the sun is there, it's really going to be illuminating you. It could actually be feeding the energy of your life. How is this event that happened to you moving you forward? Because it's a trine aspect. Once again, it's a positive aspect. So you're going to be able to use that energy productively. And how is it going to be feeding your soul? How is it going to be feeding your own vitality? That's what the sun is all about. It's about you. It's about, what makes you tick, what makes your heart happy. So that's another aspect of what's going to be going on right before that retrograde happens. But then we are officially next week, as of Monday, into the retrograde, which means that every single one of the outer planets is retrograde. So we have Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter. Well, they're not technically outer planets, but they're not the personal planets, the fast-moving planets, the way that we have Mercury, Mars, Venus. Those are the fast-moving planets. So we have all the outer planets, the slower-moving planets, retrograde. So now Mercury has joined the party, and when Mercury joins the retrograde party, then we feel it more on an everyday basis. We feel it on sort of a mundane, our daily activities, daily tasks. That's why everyone's always like, oh God, retrograde's going to happen. That means I'm going to lose my keys. That means I'm going to send the email to the wrong person, or my car is going to break down. So those are the types of energies that seem more, visible in our everyday lives, versus the outer planet retrogrades, which are kind of like in the background, slowly reminding us sort of as things evolve and as things change in our world and our society and our culture, which of course affects our own individual lives as well. But now we get to experience it on a whole nother level with Mercury going retrograde. So, we are doing this in an air sign instead of earth or fire or water this time. So air, of course, is much more intellectual, much more theoretical, much more communication oriented. So, hopefully this means that the retrograde doesn't actually physically mean bad things going wrong, like tangible items in your life, like your car or something. It could mean a conversation gone wrong. It could mean a redo of a conversation that you've already had. This is like kind of the um, one of those stereotypical, the ex calls you out of the blue because we're in a relationship sign. We're in Libra. Libra wants to communicate. Libra wants to talk, wants to think about the other person, wants to have a relationship with somebody, even if it's, not romantic. So it could be a business partner calling you back, or it could be somebody from your past, somebody who you have had some sort of relationship with or some sort of connection to. You'll probably hear from them in some way, either a text, or it could be email, it could be something simple. But, Libra really wants to be diplomatic about it. So there is an opportunity to use what we're going to be going back over with during this retrograde to a beneficial, diplomatic, compromised, best situation for everybody. So that's kind of the energy of this retrograde, is we want to find the middle ground. If we have to redo things, it's kind of for the best of every person's their future, their needs. And I'm sure people are gonna be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Um, Nobody wants to have to have a conversation that you thought was done with, and you've moved past. But maybe if you think about it the other way, like wasn't finished with this conversation, I need a redo, I need closure, I need something, that also can be front and center during a Mercury retrograde in Libra as well. So I'm trying to like think of the good side of every single astrological transit, even if it is difficult. And Mercury retrograde is, we deal with it all year long, so it's not the end of the world, right? We're always are going to be readjusting, reevaluating, redoing things. And hopefully, let's think about this in a positive. Let's try to reevaluate for the good of everybody in the situation, not just for yourself or not just for the other person. It's for both of you. That's Libra energy. So we are fully into it starting next week. And, we have the sun in Pisces. The sun in Pisces sun is not in Pisces. Sun is in Libra. Neptune is in Pisces, but we are going to have some Neptune in Pisces energy coming up next week. We do have an alignment on, let's see, where is it? I just saw it. Oh, Wednesday. Wednesday, the 29th of September is going to be a trine. Once again, lots of trines this week, which is nice. A trine aspect between Venus and Scorpio and Neptune and Pisces. Now, Venus and Scorpio, I talked about last week, as being kind of like the dark side of Venus, like the intense, obsessive, like dark lover sort of energy, which can be a little intimidating, maybe not a little unwelcome. If you've been in a situation where you were a little overwhelmed with that type of energy and didn't like it. However, we do have a trine situation with Neptune and Pisces next week. So if you want to use this energy to be artistic or create something out of nothing, create something beautiful, go on some magical, mystical dream world journey, those two energies are going to work very well with each other. I mean, Venus doesn't necessarily always rule the lovers and relationships. She also rules art. She also rules creativity and expression. So that's a great day to do something creative, something really beautiful, to create something really beautiful, or just go on some magical quest on that day, because and bring your notebook, bring your sketch pad, bring your clay, bring whatever you want to do to create something. Go somewhere, have a beautiful journey, and it could be an inner journey as well, a meditation journey, a spiritual journey. That could happen, and it's very, very supportive energy on Wednesday the 29th. Also, another trine that day, sorry, my leg fell asleep, another trine energy of the sun in Libra trine Saturn in Aquarius is a supportive aspect as well. That is kind of a grounding aspect, even though they're both air signs, mentally grounding, where you understand the limits of where your mind can go. So if that's combined with that sort of psychedelic energy of the Venus and Neptune, that's a good way to set limits for yourself. If you're like, I don't want to go on some psychedelic, crazy, la la woo journey, well, you're being supported in a way you can create healthy boundaries around that for yourself. So Of course, I always want people to remain safe. Yes, Neptune sometimes is a little dangerous if it's like don't know where to stop, don't know where to go. There's that lost energy involved with Neptune as well. But the two working together that day, I think, is very great, and a great situation to have the best of both worlds, to have a beautiful experience, but also be grounded while you do that. So, yeah, if you want to get excited or do something exciting on Wednesday the 29th, I would say go for it. That's a wonderful day to do that. We also have, let's see, Venus is pretty active this week. So is Mars. Of course, we have Mercury going back to where it was last week. So I want you to check in. I think last Wednesday was when it happened. Yeah, last Wednesday, the 22nd. Um, there was a square between Pluto and Mercury. So, that was when Mercury was moving forward. Now Mercury is going backwards. So Mercury is going to meet up with Pluto at that same position it was at last Wednesday. And that's going to happen on Friday, October 1st. So if you think back to what happened on Wednesday, what conversations you were having, did you have an aha moment? Did you have a really big sort of poignant transformational, oh, okay, that's the direction my life is going, or oh wow, that's pretty crazy, pretty insightful, or it could have been a big shakeup. So, we talk about Mercury ruling communication and mental ability, ideas, and stuff like that. um, it is gonna revisit what happened with that connection between Pluto is transformation. Pluto is total rebirth and upheaval and breaking down the boundaries so you can have a whole new life, basically. It can definitely be difficult to have a conversation that's that intense, but that's what's been going on, and that's what's going to be coming up again. So this Friday and last Wednesday, there's going to be a connection there, a redoing, a reconversation. So you may have something come up for you that happened last Wednesday as well. Um, Sorry. Um, yeah, lots of stuff going on. I will talk about the rest of it next Saturday, the 2nd. I will be busy, super busy this week, writing horoscopes. I'm going to be writing up the astro calendar for October for my membership. My membership is called the Orbit membership, and then you get a monthly calendar. You get monthly horoscopes written for your rising sign. So if you don't know what your rising sign is, then I will send you a copy of your chart, and you can find that out. Also, discounts on readings, discounts on hula hoops. And if you are wanting to learn how to hula hoop or wanting to know what hula hooping is, it's a great time right now because I've created a 20% discount for all my hula hoops on the Etsy store. So I'm going to put the code down below if you'd like to buy a hula hoop, if you'd like to gift someone a hula hoop, if you know someone who's looking to learn how to hula hoop or would love a hula hoop, I will drop in the code for 20% off on my Etsy store. So that is going to be until October 1st. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome beginning to the retrograde. And yeah, if you have any questions about this retrograde, or if you are interested in joining the Orbit membership, then I will drop the link below. So I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye.